Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Trees Lounge. So this is a movie that I've seen the cover for quite a while on streaming. I've seen it on Tubi for a while, and I saw Steve Buscemi on the cover. You know, I'm a big fan of him. He's in countless classics, so I thought, hey, this seems like a decent movie. I might want to check it out one day, but I never got around to checking it out. But then I, you know, I actually saw it on a different streaming service, and it had like a different cover, different cover art. And Chloe Sevigny was on the cover. I'm a fan of her too. And then I did some research, and I realized this is written and directed by Steve Buscemi, and it's like his, you know debut as a writer and director. So I thought, man, this seems like kind of an interesting movie. I've been sleeping on this. Let me check it out. And I'm pretty glad that I checked it out. I thought it was pretty decent. I initially for the first the first act, and like maybe a little bit into the second act, it was kind of a slow build up, and I wasn't 100% into it yet. But as the story progressed, and kind of things got more dramatic, I was really invested in the story. And I don't know, it definitely kept my attention. So yeah, I thought this was, a pretty well done movie. Steve Buscemi's performance was great. Chloe Sevigny's performance was great, and for a first time, Steve Buscemi writing that, like, this is his first time writing and directing something. I thought it was very competent. So yeah, shouts out to Steve Buscemi. He killed it. But anyways, jumping into a little plot summary. So the movie centers around Tommy, who's played by Steve Buscemi, and he's pretty down bad. He lost his job as a mechanic. He lost his long-term girlfriend, and he's kind of a bad alcoholic. All he does is just hang out at this bar all day. And so his uncle Al passes away, and basically, like, Tommy's trying to get a mechanic job, but nothing's working out. He's trying to get this, like, moving job with this guy Mike at the bar, but that's not working out. He doesn't want to hire him, so he ends up just driving Uncle Al's ice cream truck. And then he starts hanging out with this 17-year-old girl, Debbie, played by Chloe Sevigny. And her dad gets extremely suspicious, and basically they don't have like a relationship, but they're kind of romantically interested in each other. So they're hanging out, and they're trying to hide it from her dad. And basically, Tommy's, like, towards the end of the film, Tommy's life is just spiraling out of control, and all kinds of stuff is going wrong, and he's just really, like, he's really down bad, and he's really just thinking, like, what the heck am I doing with my life? So yeah, that's the basic plot summary. Something that I really liked is I thought this was an extremely accurate portrayal of, like, people with substance abuse issues, because like a lot of movies try to glamorize drugs and alcohol, or like the way they depict people who have, like, addiction. It's just so, like, it's just fake. It's just not, you can see right through it. But this was an extremely accurate portrayal. I like how, like little subtle stuff, like Tommy was kind of making excuses. He was like, well, he's like, why does Mike, drink all day and, do drugs when he has a kid? If I had a kid, like, I would straighten out. And it's like, he always says, like, if this were the case, I would stop drinking. If that were the case, I would stop drinking. And it's like, he always makes excuses. That's what anyone, dealing with substance abuse, you kind of make excuses for your behavior. And you're like, well, if only I had this, or this was going on in my life, or, oh, I just drink because I'm in pain, or I just drink because, I'm depressed, or blah, blah, blah. Like, you always kind of like have to make an excuse to yourself, like, why, like, to like, you have to like justify to yourself, like, why you're still doing it, like, why you don't stop, because it's bad. So I thought that was super accurate. And then at one point, so like Mike is kind of Tommy's buddy. He's just this other guy who always hangs out at the bar. At one point, Mike is like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he's like, Tommy, like, what do you care about? What are you passionate about? What are you into? And like the only thing Tommy could really think of is drinking. Like he had no passion. He had no goals. No like big thing that he was striving for in his life, and he just felt like extremely lost. He expressed that like several times in the movie, that he just felt so lost. Like he just felt like numb. Like he couldn't feel anything. Like his day-to-day life was just so dull, and he just couldn't really see the point. Like there was just he didn't have like a lot to look forward to, or like a lot that he cared about. And that is tough, feeling lost, because I feel like in life you want, I don't think you necessarily, like, your job doesn't have to be your passion, but I feel like your job can bring you fulfillment. Like you feel good at the end of the day after like a long work day. Like when you're just taking care of business, you feel satisfied. Like if you've been unemployed for like a little bit, oh, you feel like a absolute loser. Like you just feel like a bum. But like, like when you're working and you got something going on, you feel good. And that's the thing. Like I don't think your job has to be your passion, but I think like eventually you got to find something that you're good at. Like you don't have to be passionate about it 100%. I mean, you have to like it, to some extent, but you got to find something that kind of works with your skill set, But I feel like also you have to have like in terms of your hobbies, like your hobbies have to be your passion. Like this is like my hobby. I look forward to doing this like on days when I have like a half day at work, or when I have like a day off. I'm like, man, I can't wait to like watch movies, jump on YouTube and do a review. So it's like you gotta have goals, you gotta have stuff that you're good at, you gotta like put in work, and you gotta like have hobbies that you're passionate about, or you're gonna feel lost. So I totally understand that, because I feel like for the most part I do have like fulfilling stuff in my life, but everyone feels lost. I feel lost sometimes. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what happens when I'm done with college? Like, what happens when I get this promotion? Or what am I going to do? Or what am I going to do in 5 years? Everyone feels lost at times. So I feel like that was super relatable. And I don't know, all like the stuff surrounding the characters and all their emotions and all their trials and tribulations and struggles in this movie. It was super authentic and well done. So Steve Buscemi killed it. I kind of already talked about this, but basically, yeah, like this movie, I said this earlier, the movie started out very slow. So initially I was skeptical. I wasn't really into the movie for maybe like the first 20-30 minutes. But if you watch this and you're like at the first 20-30 minutes you're not into it, I just want people to know it does pick up, and I think the movie does get really good. So yeah, just had to reiterate that. And then last point here. So without getting into like spoilers about the ending, this is one of those movies that kind of just ends. It kind of just abruptly stops, and there's not a lot of like resolution, you know? And sometimes I absolutely hate that, and I'm like, well, like, what a waste. Like, I just sat through this whole movie and like that's like it just stopped. I don't get to see like what happens to all the characters and how everything works out. You know, sometimes I feel cheated in that situation, but in this situation I thought it worked really well. Like the ending, like there wasn't too much dialogue, but you could really like, I don't know, you could really just like feel what the character was feeling. Like, what the heck am I doing with my life? Like I'm blowing it, you know? Yeah, like the ending, it was like a very subtle ending that they didn't have to like overdo it for you to really like feel it. But at the same time, I like how there was no resolution, cuz it's one of those it's one of those movies where, because the ending is kind of so vague and everything isn't spelled out in front of you, you basically, it's one of those movies where you really think about like what did happen with Tommy, what happened with Debbie, like what happened with Mike. Like I don't know, I can't call it. So like after I watched the movie, like the wheels were spinning in my head and I was just thinking like, I want like, did he get his stuff together? Did he continue this destructive lifestyle? I don't know. So I thought, you know, even though I don't think the kind of more vague ending works all the time, sometimes I hate it, I feel like it worked super well in this movie. So that was the last point that I wanted to get into. Basically, in terms of a recommendation, um, I would recommend this movie. I think it's good. It's a little slow, but overall I think it's a super solid drama. The performances are great. I think Steve Buscemi killed it as a you know, with his for his debut as like a writer and director. So yeah, he killed it. Chloe Sevigny killed it. Pretty much everyone in this movie killed it. So, you know, overall, pretty decent movie. I would recommend it. It's free on Tubi. I think it's free on Plex too. So yeah, you know, it's got like an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I mean, some people must like it. But anyways, that's been my review of Trees Lounge. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.